Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Style and Vibes podcast with yours truly, Michaela. If you are new here, welcome to the family. If you're returning here, welcome back, family. Today, we have a very special guest. She is from my home state of Connecticut. So I totally forgot to ask you, is it Anya or Annie? Because on the
Anya.
screen, it said Anya.
Let's go with Anya.
Okay, so Anya is the owner of Natural Annie Essentials. She is a black owned, family owned, operated candle business based in Bridgeport, Connecticut. She also has a studio and she heavily incorporates her Caribbean culture, her Jamaican culture as part of her heritage brand in the space. So we're going to talk all of the things then, but I gave a short intro. So Anya, please tell the people about Natural Annie Essentials and how you got started.
Thank you so much for having me. So, yes, my name is Anya, and I am originally from St. Anne, Jamaica, in a tiny community called Bethel Town. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I moved here in 2006, to live with my family here. Um, But Natural Annie Essentials actually started back in 2014 after the birth of my first daughter, Tiffany. And I got into product formulation after trying to make products for her skin. She has a condition called spina bifida and hydrocephalus. So I started making products for her skin. And drawing back to my roots, I grew up in Jamaica with my grandparents, so very familiar with the herbs, the oils, and all natural products. So kind of went back to my roots and started mixing my own products here at home. And when I finally, got some results for her skin, I literally got hooked into just making all the things. So I was making skincare, I was making bath and body products. And at that point, I was making so much where I had to start sharing it with friends and family. And I used to throw these little make and take parties at home where my family and friends would come over and we'll just make, say, body scrubs for the night. And had a little evening out of it. I was trying to show them how to make their own products, but were not interested in that part of it. But they encouraged me to, start a business, put this on the market because they wanted it on a regular basis now, but they didn't want to make it. So that's where I came in. I started formulating, my own products, and then in 2015, I opened my first little Etsy shop. And when strangers started to buy the products, I was like, all right, I think we have something here, maybe. So I just kind of went with it. And fast forward to earlier parts of 2019, we were doing a showdown in Brooklyn, and for the entire show, customers were asking for candles in the scent of the Bath and Body products that we were selling at the time. So that's how we kind of, got into candle making, started testing it out. And when we finally launched candles as a part of the brand, I think about in 6 months, candles were literally all that we were selling. So at that time, I was still doing my full-time job. I was still making all this stuff out of my house. And it just got to a point where I had to let one go. So we moved forward with the candles as of 2019, and it has been candles ever since. So now we are mostly known for our hand poured soy candles.
So, was that a hard decision for you to step away from the bath and skincare line? And what really drove that decision?
Space. I didn't have any more space in my house to put all this stuff. And we had a line of about 10 products for skincare and, full bath and body. We had a whole line. So just really space. And from a business standpoint, we just had to go with what people were buying. So we've had to put that on pause, but it's something that is always in the back of my mind. We're going to bring it back one of these fine days. So keep your eyes out. To this day, we still have people asking for those products. So I still make products, Bath and Body, but on a much smaller scale for my household.
I'll be looking for those. As you can see, I got my candles, here.
Yes, yes.
It's so funny because I have a little one and I can't really burn candles around her. So I put
Mm-hmm.
it on, I have this coffee warmer. So I put them on the
Uh-huh.
coffee warmer and
Yep.
it just gives me a nice little island vibe because
Yes.
it smells so good.
Good.
It burns really well, which I truly appreciate. And even like my husband or my daughter is always commenting on how good it smells when I
Hmm.
do use it. And I'll like anytime, Caribbean people, when you clean the room and
Oh,
it
yes.
smell good. So then I put my little candle on my, and it just nice, just anything I nice it up.
Right,
So why
right
was
there.
it a lot of the different scents really do remind me of Jamaica and the Caribbean. So why was that important for you to bring scent wise into your business?
That was really just, Jamaica full of vibes. Everybody loves Jamaica. And the culture is rich, the culture is vibrant, and I wanted that to be a part of what we were creating. Not everybody can hop on a plane and go to the island right away, so that was our way of bringing the island to you, um, via scent, by the way of our candles.
So going back, I really love that you do incorporate that. That has always essentially, no pun intended, been a part of your business.
Hmm.
But what are some of the parts of your business that were the most challenging for you as you started to grow over the last few years?
Space and finding manpower. Those, those were some of the earliest struggles I really had. And also just, working a full-time job and trying to run a business, a full-blown business, was tough. So it came to a point where, when was this? So prior to us moving into the studio that we are in now, we were working out of my house. So it was all over my garage, my basement, wherever could fit stuff. That's, what we would do to make it work. Um, and over time, it was during COVID, I believe November 2020 was when we, finally were able to move out of my home into the space that we're in now, which allowed for, more people to come in, more people to work with me and find, um, you know just ease of access. Because it's one thing when you're working out of your home, you can't just be bringing in random people to, into your home to work. And that's kind of when my family actually stepped in and started working with me as a part of the business, during COVID, and from there on until now.
So when you incorporated the family, when did you enlist the family in terms of your manpower? And I know it's during COVID, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming COVID
Mm-hmm.
kind of amplified that. But
Yeah.
there also has to be, I mean, we're past COVID and your
Yeah.
family is still there.
They're
So what
still
has
here.
that I mean, technically they're not going anywhere,
They're not left.
but they're not going anywhere, right? But mixing having a family business where you go to work and you see your family as well as its home life, how do you
Hmm.
manage that divide of work and family, and does it intertwine? What are some of the exciting moments and challenges there?
Sometimes it does, but I've always been very close with my family, so we get along very well. So that, that makes it a little easier. Sometimes the lines get crossed. As you know, my mom is heavily, into my mom actually heads up our production. And she's in a lot of our behind the scenes on, like, our social. She's always, on our social. Um, but sometimes the lines do get crossed. I think sometimes they don't take me seriously. And I tell them all the time, work Anya is different from playtime Anya. But as with everything, you will have some challenges there. Um, but for the most part, it's really good being able to grow this with them, and build this with them, because they understand the vision and they're behind me 100%. And I can always call on them for anything. And they have been there even when I just started. I remember my very first pop up shop in 2015 here in Bridgeport. It was me and my dad who went. And he came and supported me during that event. We did not sell one thing that day. We didn't sell one thing. My very first pop up shop, I was like, wow, this is not encouraging at all. But he was there with me for the entire day, encouraging me. He even bought stuff. I'm like, why are you buying stuff from me? But but that's the
Daddy,
kind of
bless your heart.
but that's the kind of support, that's the kind of support system that they have built and provided for me. So I'm really happy to be able to build this with them and grow this with them. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad, and they're still in it with me to the very end. So that's I'm forever grateful for.
That's really interesting and inspiring, right? Because you talk about being at a pop-up shop or event and not selling
Hmm.
anything. Like what in those discouraging moments like that, what kind of pulls you through to the next step, the next phase of no, I got to keep going.
For me, it was just a love of making the products. And if you don't, and that's the thing, if you don't love it, it's easy for you to quit. And I've always said, if I'm gonna sell something, I have to be able to love it. Um, because if it doesn't sell, I want to use it, you know. So being able to just bounce back from that, it's really, it has to be a love of creating the thing that kind of keeps you going back for more. And over the years, and I mean, you're in business too, you'll know it, every day is not going to be a great day. But if you love it enough, you will go back tomorrow and try to make that a better day.
What are some of the most exciting moments that you can share with me on this journey for you?
For me, I would say one of the biggest things that came out of the business was when was this? In 2021, I believe we got featured in Michaels. So we were in all the Michaels stores across the U.S. and Canada, um, and that was a big milestone for us. Also, we did, and that came through, when I first saw that email coming through that Michael's wanted to feature us to teach people how to make candles, I'm like, yeah, sure, right, another spam, here we go. And I sat on that email for a couple days until the lady, she followed up with me and she was like, are you interested in this or not? So I'm like, okay, let me respond, maybe this is real. And it turned out to be real. Um, so we did that feature. We also did another big thing, that kind of happened for us, was working with TikTok. So we jumped on TikTok. When was this? In 2020, having no idea what we are doing on there. Um, and in 20, I believe it was last year, 2 years in a row, they reached out to us as a small Black-owned business trying to do big things on TikTok, and they had featured our brand. They sent out their crew, did a whole promotion, a promo ad with us, just using TikTok. And after that, I've worked with them in the sense that whenever they have like conferences or summits, they would pull me in to speak with other small businesses and how to grow their business on TikTok. So those have been some really big highlights that I'm super proud of that we were able to do.
You mentioned the social aspect of your business in terms of social media. How
Mhm.
important is it for your branding, your growth as part of your journey? You document a lot. It's always fun. I always get little dance breaks. Yes, mommy. I go out
Yes.
with things and they look a picture them. I go out with things too.
Everybody,
Everybody.
everybody.
Yes. So tell me about the incorporation of social and how it's impacted your business.
So social media has been very big for us. And I mean, with every small business, I think it's a big chunk of our marketing efforts. Um, not having huge, marketing budgets, we rely heavily on social, especially the organic side. And it's something that I have been, I started on, fairly early, especially with Instagram. That was one of the first platforms that we started with, and just has grown that community over the years. But diversifying the socials too is also very important. So now we have presence on, um, so we do a lot of Instagram, TikTok, some Facebook, also some Google, to help drive the business. And I feel like with every small business, it's a very important piece of the marketing mix to have, especially with, again, with very small marketing budgets.
That is some really great insight. I think it's important to kind of highlight social as a growth platform.
Hmm.
So I think it's interesting how much you've used TikTok and Instagram
Yeah.
and have been invited, to really talk to other businesses about that because it has expanded not only your brand but
Hmm.
your opportunities as an
Absolutely.
entrepreneur. But you've also entered in a space where you've been able to really expand in some cases. You've added
Hmm.
the candle bar service, you
Hmm.
host, events in your own space.
Yep.
Talk to me about some of those, and even private label. Like those are
Hmm.
things that, you know, um, are growth potential for your organization, for your business.
Hmm.
So talk to me about some of those expansions.
So all these expansions really came out of, just customers reaching out and say, "Hey, can you do this?" And we said yes. And then it turned into a thing. Because when we got our first private label deal, I was like, I don't even know how this works, but hey, we're gonna try it. And it did work out. So we kept it and built on it, and grew that arm of the business over time. So now we're able to make candles for we make candles for corporations, bigger corporations. They do it a lot, especially for like staff gifting, for their HR departments and stuff like that. And we also make candles for small businesses who want to get into the candle space but don't necessarily want to have a hand in making the candles themselves. So we do a good amount of private label, and also the candle bar came about in, when was this, January 2022, was when we started the candle bar. And it was, just because, so candles are very seasonal, so you'll find that most people, like starting like now through like the colder months up until about spring, people use candles heavily. So we wanted to find something that was unique enough, to build up for to fill in for those slower candle months. So that's when we figured out, hey, we have the space. The production area that we use during the week is what we convert on the weekends to turn it into our candle bar. So now people can come in and make their so we call it our sip and pour candle making experience. So you can come in, bring your wine, it's BYOB. You bring your beverage, and we make candles for an hour and a half. And I tell people all the time, it's not your usual candle, your little candle classes. It's super lit. It's fun. It's exciting. And people are drawn to it. We have people coming from New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and it blows my mind to this day. Like, you drove all the way from New Jersey to come to Bridgeport to make candles with us. And they said yes. How did they? And half the time, people who find us for the candle bar, they usually find us on TikTok. So I tell small business owners again all the time, use your social media platforms, because you never know who is looking, and you never know what it is that they're looking for. You may just have what they are looking for. Um, so the candle bar, and we do those on the weekends currently, on Fridays and Saturdays. And we do also do private events. So if you have like a birthday party coming up, you can book the space. We could make candles, and then you get into your, the rest of your festivities. The other portion of what we do is renting out the studio to other creatives. And that really, I wanted to do that because I remember when I used to, pour products in my basement, and I always wish I could do like a little session where people could do stuff, but I wasn't able at that point to invest in a property for myself to start my own lease. So for persons who do not have a physical space and would like to create or host events, they have the opportunity now to rent or studio and have their events there.
I love it. That is so excited for you. So, of all the things that are happening in the business, what is the most exciting for you? What drives you and gives you excitement every day to keep going?
Finding new people and finding my people. I could go on with I mean I could do without making the candles. That's not what I love anymore. But the marketing side of things is where I am really drawn to. Um, and marketing is, it's tough, but I feel like it's that challenge that keeps me on my toes. It's like always there's always something new. Like what platform can I try this week? What else can I do to have people get their eyes on Natural Annie Essentials? So that piece of the puzzle is really what that excites me on a daily basis.
If you could do this entire journey starting from the beginning, what would you tell yourself?
Girl, it's gonna be tough, but keep going. You're gonna cry a lot too, but keep going.
You probably tell yourself that now. On
It never
Sunday.
stops. It
Yeah.
never stops. It
Yeah.
never stops. But always be open to new ideas. Like, because I never knew I would be in this space that I'm in now, because this is not how I started or why I started. Um, I didn't know candles would be like the highlight of the brand in 2023. I always thought it was going to be the skincare stuff. So be open to new ideas, say yes, and figure it out. That's my motto. Just say yes and figure it out as you go.
I love that. All right, so let's have a little fun. You have
Hmm.
a large order to fulfill. What's on your playlist?
Oh, I wrote that down. Hold up. Hold
She's
on.
like,
Okay.
have the list, it ready.
Yes, the list is ready. So right now we have on heavy rotation Valiant. Valiant are going with things. You'll always hear him in the shop. TJ, we keep it drifting. We drifting over there too. And we have to put some berries because mommy love berries. So yes, we have some berries going on. And there is this DJ on YouTube that I follow and listen to his mixes heavily. DJ Puffy, have some crazy reggae mix, some crazy dancehall mix over there. So yeah, we keep the vibe going while we work.
YouTube, I like it. I like it. If you could
Yes.
get your candle into the hands of one celebrity, who would it be?
Tyler Perry, so he could put all my candles in all his movies.
That is a great one. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
He
And
gonna
if
put
you,
these candles everywhere.
it needs to be all over Sisters and all the shows he
Yes.
got on BET. We're
Mm-hmm.
manifesting it here for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let
If
Magia get
you
her hands on these candles.
if you could do a dancehall theme collection, name three candles inspired by dancehall.
All right, let me tell you what's on my list. Okay, so the first one, we're gonna call it Mellow Moods, and this is gonna feature the good old good Bob Marley. And this would be an earthy scent, something that you would burn to unwind, keep you grounded, relax. So I'm thinking a sandalwood, some ginger, that kind of vibe, Mellow Moods. The next one would be, I was cracking up when I was writing this one too. So the next one would be Bedroom Bully featuring Dexter Daps. So this is gonna be your bedroom. this is gonna be this is gonna be your bedroom candle. Super sexy, a nice floral blend, not overpowering. Um,
Yeah, my employee are coming.
her shift has started.
Her shift has started.
Hi, Mama.
I love it. I love it.
Hello.
Hi.
And the next one, the last one, we will be calling this one Ravas. All right. And this one features Ding Dong and Elephant Man. This is the one that you want to burn when you're cleaning. It's very vibrant, it's citrusy, it's energizing. So yeah, so that would be like a blend of citrus and additional fruits. Keep it nice and sweet. Keep you in the mood. So you'd be cleaning, dancing, and burning your candles.
I
Rebas.
love it. I love it. Thank you so much. If you what can you do you have a favorite in your entire
Candle,
line? Yeah.
Island Vibe. Island Vibe
I
is the first one I made. You have it. I see you have it long time because we have changed the label, so we know say you're good
listen,
girl.
listen. Okay, look, look. Me I gotta tell you, say a long time about them. You know,
All
look,
right.
look.
And she burn them lightly. She gonna make
Yes,
them done.
yes, yes. And then, like with well, because the warmer, it burns them so much slower,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
then like
Mm-hmm.
the liquid just stays in there
Yeah.
for a long time. So I recommend if you don't want to burn it to just like
Use a warmer.
use a warmer, and that's now gonna be my go-to. Um,
The,
so
the
I've been
good
doing that
things,
throughout
them.
the
The
whole
good things.
pandemic. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Candles,
but
they do set a tone. The aromas, they do really set a tone.
yeah,
Um, and there's a scent for every mood. There's a scent for every mood. So
absolutely. Any last words? Anything you want to share with that you have coming up or?
yes, so we actually will be moving into a bigger location this September. So we'll be hosting even more candle making experiences because we've been getting a lot of requests for like weekday sessions.
Mhm.
But given that we do our production in the same space at this point, we weren't able to. But as of September, when we move, we'll be able to host more weekday sessions and not just on the weekends. So yeah, so that's something to keep an eye out for. We have a new candle collection launch into this fall. Um, so, and where you would find us is on our website, naturalannieessentials.com. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at Natural Annie Essentials. And our candle bar is located here in Bridgeport. We're on 1313 Connecticut Avenue. And when we move, we'll still be in the same location, just a bigger space. So that's where you can find us. And we got to get you into the candle bar one of these days.
Yes, yes. We're gonna take the cheese then. Until next time, later, my peeps. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.